It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and I've wanted to film this review for a couple of months now, and I've finally got round to it because, well, I was in B&M stores yesterday, the big discount store. I had wandered on their beer aisle, and I've seen this Budweiser Budvar Original Czech Lager, and it was £1.70 per bottle, green glass bottle, 500 millilitres. There's your bottle cap. But it was £1.70. I thought that's cracking value for money, because I'm sure I've gone into Lidl before now and I've seen it for a little bit more than that. It was one of those snap decisions, £1.70, bang, it's in the trolley. I know it's a really good lager. Now this one here, Checkmates, Czech style lager, this cost me £1.79 in Lidl. The original Budweiser Budvar is 5% ABV. The Checkmates is 4.8% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. So you're getting a slightly lower ABV and you're getting slightly less beer for your money. And on top of that, it costs 9 pence more per can. This is, though, something slightly different. This has been brewed with Budweiser Budvar at Thornbridge Brewery. They've gone to Bakewell and they've gone to brew this beer with Thornbridge. Now, Thornbridge and Budvar combined, for me, are more than just your average quality beer. This is going to be, I've already done a full review of this if you want to watch it, but this is a decent beer for your money. Even if you're paying a little bit more, even if you're getting slightly less ABV, even if you're getting slightly less beer. But how does it compare side by side against Budweiser Budvar? Well, of course, let's find out. I've got two very similar glasses. I don't have two Budvar glasses to show you today, but I have something kind of very similar. Both of these glasses don't, well, I suppose there's etching on the bottom of the glass there, but there's more of the Budvar symbol on the bottom of the Budvar glass. You'll see, have a look at that label there, that part of the label. Have a look at the bottom of the glass. It's the same emblem. So, without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. I'm going to try and give you my best representation of a Czech pour. So you might be thinking, what is he doing with his beer? Well, the way the Czechs look at beer is the carbonation is put into the bottle, and during fermentation, of course, to protect the beer. The moment you want to drink the beer, you can knock all of that carbonation out of it. And the best way to knock all of that carbonation out of it is to give it a big, rigorous pour. Now, I'm not sure if I can do a Czech pour with a Checkmates. I suppose we can find out, can't we? It is a can, slightly different opening to a bottle. But let's go rigorous. Let's see what happens. Whoa, that's different, isn't it? Of course, straight away. Have a look at the Czech beer. The Czech beer didn't behave like that, did it? It was kind of... I think that's got something to do with the way the can pours out, mine. It kind of really mixes up, doesn't it? With a bottle, you don't have that same... With a can, it feels like it's kind of smashing out the can. With a bottle, it's more of a glug, glug, glug. But there you go, there's a Czech pour for you. That's probably the best Czech pour I've ever done. So a lot of that carbonation now has been knocked out of the beer, exactly how Budvar would want you to drink it. So we got a 1 to 2 finger white head. It's an amber coloured lager at 5% ABV. Now, gonna go rough again, I suppose, because that's the only way, isn't it? Can we? No, we're not getting away with that, are we? We are definitely not getting away with the roughness of that pour. So let's pause for a moment and have a look at the two beers. Now, the Thornbridge is actually slightly hazy, whereas the Budvar is clear. Look at that. I suppose there's a reason for that. If you look at Thornbridge, if you look at the way that craft beer has been heading, it's all been heading into kind of like the unfiltered world of beer, hasn't it? Most beers, most craft beers these days, worth their salt, are unfiltered beers. And that's exactly what you're getting here, it's slightly unfiltered. So straight away, that might be the premium too. The premium in this product, the fact that you get a little bit less beer, a little bit less ABV, and you're paying 9 pence more a can, is because it's unfiltered maybe, and maybe because it's been brewed with a craft brewer of the kind of quality of Thornbridge, if you like. Now, I have seen on the internet there is price fluctuations with this beer. If you're shouting at your screen right now saying, I've been to Morrison's, I've been to other supermarkets and I've paid £3 for a can of this, then yeah, you probably want to head to Lidl. Lidl at the moment is selling this for £1.78. Everywhere else seems to be selling this beer, the Checkmates, for £3 a can. But then again, I suppose if you went to some kind of fancy wine shop and bought a bottle of Budweiser Budvar, you'd probably be paying a little bit more than the £1.70 that I paid in B&M. So I think horses for courses. If you're like me, if you can spot a bargain, bang, that's going in my trolley, then great. If you've picked this up and paid more money for it, then maybe look elsewhere for the beer. Maybe try and find that place where, that sweet spot where the beer is nice and cheap. So, Budweiser Budvar and Budweiser Thornbridge Checkmates. The two differences in the beer is that at the moment it's hazy, and the Checkmates has a better, I say better, it's held onto its head a bit better. This, for me, Budvar, this is perfect Budvar. Budvar doesn't hold onto its head because you've chucked all of that carbonation out of the glass. Smell the Saaz hops here. The Saaz hops smell fantastic. Nice kind of biscuity, bready base from the beer, and then that kind of spicy, peppery Saaz hop from the Budvar. Checkmates. If I'm honest, you're not getting as much of the malt. It's more of a clean aroma to the Checkmates. But you still get that kind of Saaz hop goodness. That spicy pepperiness. So I'm going to start off by tasting Budvar Original. It's just good. It's just good quality lager. Nice biscuity, bready, malty lager. Definitely more of a malt bill coming through here in the lager. It's kind of, I like that biscuity breadiness. I also like the hop finish on it, that Saaz hop, spicy, peppery, hoppy, a little bit of bitterness on the back end. Nicely balanced between that sweetness of the malt. There's definitely a sweet malt flavour coming through here, and then the bitterness on the back end. If you're used to drinking, let's say, other Czech style lagers, maybe a Stara Pramens, maybe a Pilsner Urquells, then they're going to be slightly more bitter. They're going to be more like actual Pilsners. I would say my best way to describe Budweiser Budvar is that it's more of a beer. It's definitely more of a beer than a Pilsner style lager. But I like it. I really like it. Checkmates then. Thornbridge Budvar. Oh. It's cleaner. It's definitely cleaner, but it definitely doesn't have that malt body. It definitely doesn't have that malt body of the Budvar. Oh. Right. Hold on then. Original Budvar. A little tickle of carbonation. Nice bready malty flavour with a nice Saaz hop bitter finish. Peppery spicy bitter finish. Checkmates. It's weirdly sweeter, and it's just got a bit of a sweet but then bitter finish to it, like a slightly astringent bitterness on the back end. Oh, that's amazing. Now, I've never thought to put these two beers side by side before. I have, never got round to it. I'm glad I've got round to it, because it turns out, and again, this is my own personal opinion, you get more beer from the Budweiser Budvar. 500ml versus 440 millilitres. You get a slightly elevated ABV, 5% ABV versus the Checkmates 4.8% ABV. And it turns out, if you shop in the right places, if you pick this up in B&M or if you pick this up in Lidl, you're going to be paying £1.70 a bottle for the Budweiser Budvar, where the Checkmates you can be paying £1.78, £1.79 in Lidl. Or if you go somewhere like Morrison's, you're going to be paying £3 a can. £3 a can for the beer. On a personal level, and there's another tip I can give you straight away. If you want to save even more money and drink a decent beer, you can go in Home Bargains and pick up a Budvar Dark Lager at the moment, end of October 2023. For the literal, it's something like £1.50 a bottle for a Budvar Dark Lager. So prices are all over the shop, but the consistent thing for me here is that Budvar are continuing to brew the best beer you can get hold of for your money. I think so, on a personal level. This is the first time I've put these two beers side by side, and the Budweiser Budvar wins hands down. It really does. It really does. I mean, if you're the owner, or if you're in charge, or if you're, say you're in charge of the collaborations of Budvar, you're not going to sit round the table of the people from Budvar and go, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go to the UK and brew a beer, and we're going to make it better than our original lager. That would be just silly, wouldn't it? The best thing for Budvar to do would be exactly what they've done. They put a fantastic Instagram campaign out there. They probably sold a lot of this Thornbridge Checkmates with Budvar beer. They probably put Budvar's name on the map, which is exactly what they wanted to do. And at the same time, they've not damaged their original brand, because their original beer is still better than Checkmates. This is just my personal opinion. You make your own mind up, but you're getting more beer for less money with a higher ABV with the Budweiser Budvar. The Checkmates, it's decent. It's a 7 out of 10. I think I called it the best lager ever to come out of Lidl just a few months ago. But hey ho, I mean, just a couple of months later, I'm doing this this kind of this battle video, and it turns out actually Budvar's even better. So 7 out of 10 for the Checkmates, 9 out of 10 for the original Budweiser Budvar Czech lager. I hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.